Welcome to Bloodhaus, the show where we talk about art house horror movies. I'm your host, Joshua Conkel.
And my inner child has PTSD. My name is Drusilla Adeline. Welcome to another week of Bloodhaus. It's hard to think of a funny little opening quip for this movie.
Not a very funny movie. Look at Edie has decided to join us at the mic.
Hi, Edie! Those who don't know, it looks like a small rat has scurried into frame. Don't be concerned. That's a gorgeous Italian greyhound.
How dare you? Do you know, sometimes
I'm quoting something your boyfriend said to me about her.
Sometimes men unfavorably compare her to a rat. Men don't like small dogs a lot of the times. It somehow challenges their masculinity. And I've definitely been called the F slur a number of times while walking Edie out and about. She's gorgeous and sweet and the best.
A friend of mine who's non-binary has a small white dog as well, who I'm literally going to dog sit later today. And they're like, I lived in Atlanta for years and I lived all over. And I'm now living in LA, and they're like, I've never heard the F slurred directed towards me more than when I have my little white dog.
One time, I had my hair dyed purple, and I was wearing a purple sweater, and Edie was wearing a purple sweater because it was winter, and she has a purple leash, and I was walking her, and I didn't do it on purpose. It's just I happened to like the color purple, and I was just...
Your
that's just what
looked great.
That's what I threw on that day, and somebody just went off on me on the street, just was screaming red in the face about how I was trying too hard and I'm the problem, and blah 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 blah. And I was like, you can just say faggot.
Was this another gay man?
No. And they're right. I'm sure I did look really desperate, but it actually was totally innocent. I just happened to have a lot of things in purple because it's my favorite color. And it looks great on both me and Edie.
It does.
How are you?
I'm not great, but I'm getting through it. It's been a rough couple of weeks. For anyone that's watching any form of news. Apparently not TikTok, but I guess TikTok's back. I don't.
TikTok is back. Thanks to Donald Trump, dear leader Donald Trump. So dark.
I stop giving him credit. Just all of it. All of it. Let's just.
The Democrats walked right into that one.
Let's just take a break. Let's all stop.
Yeah.
Shut the government down for 3 years, and we'll figure something new out.
Yeah.
The fallout of the fires here in the valley has things are getting better empirically. I am safe, and am also far and away extremely fortunate. However, the effects of it all are really starting to shake out on me and my loved ones. And it's making day-to-day anything really, really hard, just physically and emotionally. And then on top of that, David Lynch died this week.
I know. What a loss. It was a really hard week. That one hit me like a ton of bricks, the David Lynch passing.
And the worst part about it is that his family have said that it's partially because of being forced to evacuate during the Hollywood fires.
Yeah.
He had emphysema, and he'd been just living in his house without leaving for a few years at that point. And the stress of that situation and the dramatically dangerous air quality put him in harm's way. And that's deeply fucked up. And I fucking hate it.
Yeah. I saw someone's skeet, which I guess is what we call tweets on Blue Sky, for better or for worse, about David Lynch. And they were saying how, because of him, we have the term Lynchian, which is such a rare, gift for an artist to be so singular and visionary that there's a term named after them like that. And it's so true, right? Who else is there? There's Kafka. Something could be Kafka-esque.
Yeah.
But there's not that many people like that who are just so visionary that you say that something is Conkel-ian or something, or Orwellian. That's one.
Yeah,
But
George Orwell.
There's not a lot of people that are that visionary and that singular that they get that.
Yeah, when I use the phrase Orwellian, it's because I'm saying that something has the option of being made by Orson Welles, but it probably isn't, but it could have been.
You are alone in that.
So, like, the third man is Orwellian to me, and that's an awful pun for the dorkiest cinephiles that listen to this podcast. I'm so sorry. I will say that all the outpouring of love that I've seen in the past few days has been really, really magical. The Bob's Big Boy in Burbank that Lynch famously frequented for something like 20 years, getting fries and chocolate milkshakes every single day at 2:30 p.m. Is kind of become a small shrine, and people are leaving candles and flowers and bags of Cheetos in his memory, which is really, 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 really sweet and magnificent. It's hard to live in Los Angeles and not have some kind of a like connection to the work of David Lynch. I mean, many of his movies are set and filmed here, are named after places here, or like ubiquitous to the like experience here. And so many people move here because of his films and become inspired to become creative because of his films and art and shows. And
yeah, I mean, I grew up in Washington State, and my hometown is one of the places where they filmed Twin Peaks, the series, and one of many towns in Washington. And unlike most things, it was actually filmed in Washington, not Vancouver. And so I kind of have both of his places in my heart, you know, and there was a lot of local media in Washington since he passed about the effects that he had on Washington State and how much the people of Washington State love him too. And so, it's quite a loss. No one else like him.
I was outrageously fortunate enough to at least like do some pieces of art for him for the Elephant Man.
I love that Elephant Man cover.
So even though I didn't get to meet him in any way, shape, or form, at least like he saw my work. Mm-hmm. Some of it ended up on a shelf in his home, and that's all I can ask for.
Yeah. Super sad.
Awful week.
Have you watched
this year? Fucking blows.
It's terrible. You know, I heard bangs last night when I was trying to sleep, and I thought, God, I hope that's gunshots and not fireworks. Like that, or you know, like
I'd
that's
rather that's gunshots than fireworks right now. Yeah, because the city will fucking light up again. Did you hear that they have been looking into the source of the Palisades fire that kind of started this maelstrom? And it's speculated that it was teenagers lighting off fireworks.
Oh, really?
Because they like traced it back to a point on the trailhead, and to like that's where the fire, like this exact point is where the fire started. And a few days earlier, on New Year's Eve, there had been a fire at the exact same point that was like stopped and put out from teenagers lighting off fireworks. That they were stopped prematurely because a fire was started, and it's speculated that they just came back and tried again.
I guess that wouldn't surprise me. It's also just nature, right? Like last year we had unprecedented rain, which caused all of the sort of scrub in the canyons and hills to grow like crazy. And then this year we had no rain whatsoever, plus the Santa Ana winds. And, you know, if what you're saying is true, fireworks, it's just a unique recipe for disaster. It literally was like a hurricane of fire.
It's literally, it was literally a perfect storm of conditions. And then there was a tornado of fire at one point. Like,
it's super dark. God, what a bummer episode. Have you been watching anything that's cool?
Yes, I finally watched something that's cool that it's a film I know you love. And you're going to be mad at me that I took so long to see it, but you will be happy that I liked it a lot. I finally saw The Northman.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I'm glad that you liked it.
Yeah,
you don't usually like fantasy films, so
yeah, I don't, and I was worried that it was going to be like a war film or like, you know, I don't like the original Conan the Barbarian, which I know you're a huge fan of.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's Robert Eggers. It's got an incredible cast, and after having seen Nosferatu a few times now, I was like, there's literally just one other feature I haven't seen. What the fuck? And Ivory and I were looking for a film to watch the other night, and we were both like, fuck it, let's do The Northman. It's been on our list too long. We missed it in theaters. Let's just give it a shot. And I knew I was in for something I was gonna love within like 5 minutes when I realized, oh, we're just doing Viking Hamlet. Oh, yeah, okay.
That's literally it.
No one told me this is just Hamlet with Vikings. All right, now I'm in.
Yeah.
And that Willem Dafoe is playing Osric. Like,
I feel stupid for not knowing this, especially since I have a theater degree, but apparently Hamlet is just based on an older Viking epic poem. That's why it's set in Denmark. Did you know this?
Sense. I've heard that. That not only Hamlet, but a few other. I remember like reading Hamlet when I was in high school and stuff like that, which was my favorite Shakespeare play, and was like the thing that got me into Shakespeare when I was in high school. And I'd read Romeo and Juliet.
It's a great play.
But I mean, when it opens with like guards talking and like being spooked by a ghost who then haunts his son into madness, I was like, oh, I'm into this. This is great.
Yeah.
I remember like English teachers kind of like propagating the myth that like it's something that Shakespeare wrote for his son who had died and stuff like that. But it's like, it's famously like a like repeat of a myth, as are a lot of Shakespeare's other things. Like Romeo and Juliet is also like not wholly original. It is like a recycling of folklore. As is Macbeth. Like, I don't know. But I just fully didn't realize that this is like flat out. Like his name's Amleth. Like,
right. Yeah.
I thought it was really, really, really great. I thought the score was incredible. I thought the cinematography was fucking nuts. And I also didn't realize that like after, you know, a few sieges in the beginning, a like vaguely psychedelic scene near the beginning, that the rest of it would be a like kind of smaller story, more or less set on like a small farming island about infiltrating like a very small like farm and group of slaves. I didn't know that it would be like that small of a story in that context.
Yeah. I have to admit, I only saw it in the theater when it came out. I haven't seen it since, so there's not that much I remember of it. I kind of remember the beginning and the end, like Act 1 and Act 3, because those are so kind of big and visually stunning, like them fighting naked on the mountain's top and stuff like that. So, but I did really like it when I saw it. I love Robert Eggers. I'm in for whatever he wants to do.
I've not disliked anything he's made, and everything he's made has gotten better and better and better. I would probably still put The Lighthouse at the top of his films for myself, and then I think Northman and Nosferatu are probably somewhere in the middle, and The Witch still fully isn't my favorite. But
I'm the exact opposite of you. I think
it.
The Witch is still my favorite, then Nosferatu, then The Northman, then The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse is great and so beautiful. It's just so difficult because it's non-linear that it's like it's not a super fun watch for me.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, but I do like it a lot.
I really like The Northman. It reminded me a lot of something we've covered on the podcast this past year, the Ingmar Bergman film Virgin Spring.
Yeah.
I
love that movie.
Yeah. Bjork was so good. Willem Dafoe is incredible.
As always.
Like
Nicole Kidman, great.
Yeah. I got very excited as soon as like the possibility of incest was coming up, and I was like, oh, that shouldn't be a surprise to you in the least considering what this is.
Yeah.
we had a great time with it. Yeah, I'm honestly shocked that it didn't do well commercially.
Well, I mean, it would have to do really well, right? Because it cost like $80 million, $90 million, something like that. So there was virtually no chance that it would earn back its money. It feels like a blank check scenario.
Kind of. I mean, it was produced by Arnon Milchan, who, like, that's his whole jam, is, like, producing crazy shit studios are never going to produce. He produced Brazil and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like it was just so weird watching the Northman because it's great and invigorating, but like period films like that used to get made a lot more often, but they
Yeah.
were a lot more like slapdash and just here's like a thing. And now it like has to be a huge passion project with the director and everyone involved is like deeply researched into it, and it's like only getting made because the like cat like I saw that Alexander Skarsgård had like an executive producer credit on it that like
Yeah.
alongside Eggers, that like everyone is like super on board and super researched into this topic. And but like I was thinking how like a movie like this would have come out in like 2003 and financially done very well but then be forgotten. Like I was thinking about like Hidalgo and
Mm-hmm.
Master and Commander, the Peter Weir film.
Yeah.
Like there were a lot of like period epic action films that were being made. I would also say that fucking Mel Gibson one.
Braveheart or
No, the one that he
Apocalypto?
directed, Apocalypto.
Yeah.
Because there was like well, and to an extent, his Passion of the Christ, which like of course
Right.
that's gonna have like a financial Christian base
For
to it.
that
But like,
matter, The Lord of the Rings. I mean, I
yeah,
know that you don't like those movies, but I adore them. And it is kind of a fluke. Like, that's the only time that they could have been made and been as huge as they were. Like, kind of a perfect storm of things coming together. Because a few years earlier or a few years later, there's no chance.
yeah. I mean, famously, a few years before, like maybe 1 or 2 years before Lord of the Rings came out, from the same studio, also New Line, put out a Dungeons and Dragons movie that was famously a massive bomb and
It's also a
terrible.
terrible movie. So there's that.
There is that. But like it seemed like there wasn't an audience for it at the time. So that even
Yeah.
that was a huge gamble at the time. And it's weird that that paid off and that like I mean to a different extent Pirates of the Caribbean also was like bringing period action adventure stuff to mainstream
And
cinemas. Like that was kind of a cottage industry for a minute there.
I mean, the same thing happened in the early 80s, except it was different because they were like they were all Conan ripoffs. And so they were like about boobs and stuff like that. And they were all very cheap and sleazy. So it's kind of different.
There were a lot of those, but then there was also like Excalibur.
Right. Yeah. I mean, fantasy had a big
And
moment
Lady
in the
Hawk.
80s, I guess.
And
I guess that's
yeah.
true. And Labyrinth and Dark Crystal and Legend. And, you know, so there are some big budget ones too, I guess.
Legend.
Beautiful movie.
Legend
Gorgeous.
is incredible. I need to rewatch Lady Hawk. I feel like that one will probably rise in my estimation. Anytime it's an 80s fantasy one where it's like all scored by Tangerine Dream and you've got a super androgynous like male hero like frolicking in slow motion with like one of the most beautiful actresses you've ever seen. That's when I can get into it.
Do you know what you should see that I think you'd be interested in for the aesthetics is Krull. Krull.
Yeah, I know you've mentioned Krull before.
It's by that director Yates, that Euro art house director, and so it has really beautiful sets and costumes that
Peter
are like
Yates?
it's very
the
far
director
from,
of like Bullet.
Yeah,
Goddamn.
it looks very different than other fantasy films. It's got like sort of a weird sci-fi element, and the sets and costumes are just really strange and different, and so it's super beautiful looking.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with the poster, which is like a big mountain, but it's an
which is
alien
incredible.
head. Yeah.
Yeah, with like a goofy Cyclops.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a goofy movie. It is campy, but it looks really cool.
Peter Yates directed a lot of my favorite like 70s like heist movies, like Friends of Eddie Coyle and The Hot Rock, Bullet, Breaking Away, one of the few important films made and set in Indiana, like so the idea of him like taking these like really grounded, gritty like thrillers and then being like fucking space pirates and weirdness.
Yeah.
I do want to see Ice Pirates as well.
Ice Pirates is like pure camp. It's like extremely campy.
And you know what? That
fun.
sounds like my kind of thing. And
yeah. It's an Angelica Houston, which is so weird.
So weird.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Bruce Valanche is in it too. Okay. Say less. What about you? What have you been watching?
I haven't really watched anything. So the thing I'm going to talk about is what I saw at the movies last night because it's literally the only thing I can talk about. Otherwise, I would avoid it because I don't think it's good. And it is Wolfman, the new
Oh
Lee Whannell
yeah.
movie.
I haven't seen it yet, but I worked on the posters for
Oh,
it.
you did?
Yeah. They didn't use any
I
of ours, but
don't like the font that they chose
oh, I
to.
hate it. It was forced
The
on
font
us.
is really bad.
It's literally a font. It's not like a bespoke
It's not
thing. Like if you
bespoke.
think about the Nosferatu title design, that's bespoke. It's illustrated. It's vaguely based on my friend Brandon's from a few years ago, which is upsetting.
Hmm.
But like Wolfman, it's literally a font, and then they extended the like median bar on the F, and it's
It looks like
working with it. It was driving me nuts.
it looks like a Ray Dunn coffee mug. You know, like those
Yeah.
mugs and dishware that have the handwriting on them that are
Do you
like
find it, like,
tea
Ross?
time or whatever. Yeah. It,
It's
unfortunately,
1:00.
exactly. Unfortunately, it's quite a bad movie.
Yeah.
The actors are good. Christopher Abbott is wonderful, although not in this. It just is. It just doesn't work. Like basically nothing about it works. It's I don't know. It's like Christopher Abbott plays a dad who his own father was abusive, so he's trying not to be. And the movie kind of makes you want to worry about that, but he's like a perfect dad, so you're not at all worried about it at any moment. You know what I mean? Like the movie seems to think like, oh, he's on the precipice because his daughter is like walking on a high thing, which is dangerous. So he yells at her to get down. It's like, am I supposed to think that he's like struggling with rage because he yelled at his daughter to get off a high place? That was dangerous. You know what I mean? And then the wolf design is really bad. The makeup,
really
it doesn't
bad.
look like you kind of want an old fashioned werewolf, I think. And it kind of does this slow illness kind of story instead. And so I just felt like at some point during the development, someone was like, let's do a grounded werewolf story or something. And it just is like, no, I don't want that. And
I haven't seen it yet, but through working on it, I saw all of the unit photography. So
mhm,
I've basically like seen the film in still images, but I
yeah.
haven't like had the experience of watching the movie. So, but I've seen all of the creature effects. I've seen all of the transformation effects. I've seen all of that stuff, and I like have a general outline of the narrative. And yeah, I know that it like takes place over the course of like 24 hours, more or
Mhm.
less. And Lee Whannell did say in his little note of creative direction that like the big like touchstone for them was David Cronenberg's adaptation of The Fly.
I just couldn't imagine a more different movie than The Fly.
Yeah.
Just I'm
Well, and
surprised because I
also,
think Lee
like,
Whannell is such a good director, but this is
his
a whiff.
Invisible Man movie is quite good.
And I thought Upgrade was super fun too, for that matter. I thought it was a blast.
My big note with it, and I'm also like on record as not being a fan of Julia Garner, so I probably won't be saying it anyway because I don't like Julia Garner. But my big note with the creature design that I have seen as he's like going through all of that is that if there's one thing we know about wolves, and there's one thing we know about wolf men from films, is that they're hairy. Why does he lose his hair?
Yeah.
Why does he go bald? What the fuck
then
is that about?
He's in prosthetics the whole second half of the movie. He has like a little bit of a hairy back, I guess, because he's shirtless. I was like, what a waste of a beautiful man.
What a waste of
Abbott.
one of the hairiest men.
He's so beautiful and handsome. And yes, he does have a hairy chest because I saw him jogging shirtless in Echo Park. I don't know. What a waste. He's so beautiful and he's such a great actor. And I don't think he should have to be in things like this.
No.
It's not a good movie. I'm sorry to say.
It's very unfortunate that, like, again, we keep trying to get new versions of the classic Universal monsters up on screen in a way that's fresh for new audiences and compelling, and so that they can spin off and make sequels and yada yada yada. Or, just have new haunted house exhibits at Halloween Horror Nights at Universal. But barring Lee Whannell's Invisible Man, which genuinely was quite good and a great new take on it.
Yeah.
They haven't, like, everything else has been so rough and so entirely, like, misunderstanding the text and what makes those original movies great and
It
work.
feels like
Meanwhile,
something.
like Guillermo Del Toro tries to make Creature in the Black Lagoon and Frankenstein, and they tell him no, so he just takes them elsewhere and makes better films.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Leigh Whannell is so talented. It just feels like something happened. It feels like very insecure. It feels indecisive kind of as a movie. And it's funny that you mentioned Universal Horror Nights, because I said to my friend right after, I was like, didn't it feel like a not so good maze at Universal Horror Nights? That's how it felt. It's kind of a whiff, unfortunately. Yeah.
That's
I don't know
so
what else to say about
unfortunate.
it.
I know it was in production for a long time.
I know Ryan Gosling was supposed to be in it and dropped out.
Ryan Gosling was attached. A different director and writer were also attached before Leigh Whannell. It's gone through a lot of stages and iterations. And I was really hoping for it to be something special. And the weird thing is this movie's coming out around the time that there's starting to be a discussion and a resurgence around the 2010 Wolfman movie with Benicio del Toro and Anthony Hopkins, that people are now revisiting that movie and being like, that was actually good. And we should
I've never seen that.
have been nicer. I haven't seen it either, but there's been a lot of kind of attempts at taking that movie back and giving that movie a new audience, which, like, you would think that with that starting to happen, prime time for a really awesome, great new Gothic Wolfman movie.
You know what I would love to see is just like a good old-fashioned fun werewolf movie. I want scenes in the fog, in the woods, people with shotguns. I want like a new The Howling or Silver Bullet, or just like a throwback, super fun, good old-fashioned werewolf movie. I don't want like a grounded 2020s version that's like deconstructed.
What I want is like a modern version of like The Beast Must Die, the Amicus movie with Peter Cushing.
Yeah.
Which is like, we're all here in this Agatha Christie and Then There Were None style house in the country on the moors and stuff like that. And one of the guests is a werewolf. Like,
I mean, I just remembered Werewolves Within from Josh Rubin, which Josh Rubin?
Great. Yeah.
I loved that movie. So I did kind of
adore that movie.
Yeah.
I think that movie is one of the best contemporary anything with a werewolf in it.
100%.
Maybe, and this is controversial because I know people don't like this movie, but since the Jack Nicholson movie Wolf.
I've never seen that.
I know a lot of people don't like it. I know friend of the show, former guest Michael Verratti, has said of it that it's a 2.5 hour Wolfman movie that spends 80% of its runtime commenting on the world of publishing.
That sounds good to me. I probably would like it.
It fits into the canon of like James Spader's erotic thrillers of the 80s and 90s too.
Yeah.
Because he's the bad guy, and he I think if I recall, intentionally gets turned into a werewolf so he can fuck more or something like that. It's crazy. Highly recommend that one.
Yeah.
But the 80s was such a heyday of werewolf movies. There were so many great, incredible werewolf movies.
Howling, Silver Bullet, there's a ton of them.
American Werewolf in London. Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah. I want one of those again.
Shouldn't be hard.
Well, shouldn't be hard, and yet. Listen, let's talk about the movie that we've gathered here to talk about. This is a movie I picked. Neither of us had seen it, but I think both of us had meant to see it at some point. This is a very buzzy film festival-y movie from 2017, directed by Issa Lopez. It is Tigers Are Not Afraid.
Había una vez un príncipe que quería ser tigre. Los tigres no tienen miedo.
I will be honest, I'm a little bit nervous for this one. And I sort of wish I had not picked it, because I know that this is a movie that people really love. And I don't want to shit on it, but I also frankly, I don't think it's a good movie.
Mm.
Not only is it not my cup of tea, which it's not probably, but I also just like don't think it's good, frankly. But but you liked it more than I did, I think. So
I did.
What do you think?
I did like it more than you did. However, I will also potentially echo the sentiment that maybe wish you hadn't chosen it either, because as I mentioned at the top of the episode, it's been a fucking rough couple of weeks. And that kind of all fell on top of me in the last 2 days. And it's been really, 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 really hard. And I had a really rough day yesterday emotionally. And then it took me a lot to get through and past what I was feeling to the point that I could be like stable. And the first thing, and then as soon as I was like, fine, I went to bed. And then as soon as I woke up, I was like, okay, I've got to watch this movie. It's going to be super short. It's on Shudder and AMC. I'll just go put it on. And within like 5 minutes of it, I was like, oh God, fuck me. Because it like basically opens with a school shooting.
Yeah, it not basically, it literally does open with a school shooting. I'm sorry, first of all. For me, I have to say, weirdly, it is very dark, but I felt completely unmoved by it at any point. I felt no sadness or fear or anything, really. I think it felt manipulative. It felt maudlin. It felt designed to appeal to the sort of people who program film festivals. It reminded me of Beasts of the Southern Wild, which is a movie I deeply hate. I think this is a better movie than that.
I saw that comp coming, yeah. I also hate Beasts of the Southern Wild, I will say.
Hate that movie.
Turn that movie off halfway through.
I think the script for this is really bad. I think the genre elements feel both twee and corny. That this gets compared to Guillermo Del Toro's movies, and he was a big champion of this movie. It makes me want to go back and revisit his older movies, like The Orphanage and Devil's Backbone and Pan's Labyrinth, and see if I think those are corny now, because I thought this was so corny. It just feels manipulative and insincere and cynical and maudlin to me, and it feels like designed for rich white film festival programmers to pat themselves on the back for programming. And I really disliked it. There's things I admire about it. I think that, I love the idea of it. Some of the kids are great. I love the locations, like the big, decaying mansion and beautiful. I don't know if it's Mexico City or where.
The locations are insane. Multiple times throughout the movie, I was like, how are we here? Where did you find this place?
There's some really striking images, like the piano on fire and the fish in the pond that are really beautiful, but I just don't like the movie. I feel bad. I feel like mean. It makes me feel mean to say all this, but that's just how I feel.
Well, I didn't see this movie. I think it was made in 2017. It got US distribution by Shudder in about 2018 or 2019. So it took it a minute after, to get into American festivals and all that. It was Issa Lopez's, English language breakthrough. It's obviously the Spanish language film, but, and she has since gone on to direct the most recent season of,
True Detective, right?
Detective, yeah. The one that, had the AI in it that was pissing people off. Speaking of, did you hear about that they used AI in The Brutalist?
Yes. Isn't that crazy?
So off topic, but it's pissing me off so much.
It's not off topic for our show. And he's won Adrian Brody's already won a bunch of awards for his performance, which was changed by AI. How is that?
Vocally modulated by AI, yeah. Well, and on top of that, they used literal Midjourney AI to generate the concepts for his buildings in the film.
Crazy. Yeah.
Well, and there's something so insincere about actors and directors doing festival and awards circuits and talking about the authenticity of the movie and how, it was a big choice and it was an expensive choice, but we decided to shoot on VistaVision and shoot on film. And we only had $10 million, and that's like nothing. And like, how do you make a movie of this scope and scale at that? And it's all about
You make a
budgeting and
smaller movie is what you do.
You make a smaller movie, you shoot on digital.
Yeah.
I don't know, apparently you hire vocal coaches to work with your actors and stuff like that. Like,
Pathetic. It's a pathetic excuse. I saw someone, on behalf of the movie say that it was just like a drop of AI in this giant movie. And then someone reskeeted that and was like, a drop of sewage in a glass of wine is a glass of sewage. You know what I mean? And that's exactly how I feel.
But also, it's not a drop. It's both of the two leads' entire vocal performances, the entire film.
Yeah.
The editor of the film, who is Hungarian, said that they used his voice to like train the AI on their voices. And he was like, I can hear my own voice in this movie now. And it's like, that's an issue.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
And also, like, if the whole theme of your movie is about like a rogue artist and like the like emotional effects on that person, the way that artists are like used and manipulated, why are you then using AI to create that person's art?
Yeah.
Antithetical to your
theme. Period.
Sorry. I know this is in the middle of a discussion of a radically different movie. It's just been top of mind lately, and I really liked The Brutalist when I saw it a few months ago, and now I'm like
mad
so pissed off. Well, honestly, it's not that far off, because his last movie, Vox Luxe, also opened with a school shooting and came out around the same time as Tigers Are Not Afraid. And like, I hate Vox Luxe, like, with a burning passion. I think it's a bad movie. I think it's a poorly made movie. I think it's a conceptually thin and weak film. I think Natalie Portman's performance is horrendous. I think her accent work is god-awful. And on top of that, I think the like continuing thread of like discussing mass violence and school shootings, and then a threaded in supernatural element that movie has, don't fucking work and are needless and are put in there to have like splashy buzzy elements.
Yeah.
And like thinking about your criticism, Tigers Are Not Afraid, and my criticisms of Vox Luxe reminds me of when I was going into college and living in Indiana. The biggest film festival in Indiana is the Heartland Film Festival.
Mm-hmm.
Big festival. Features come out of there and like go on to win at Sundance and other stuff like that. I think some have won Oscars for like shorts and stuff like that out of Heartland. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's like one of the biggest ones in the Midwest. And literally we were taught and instructed by our teachers at the time. We were like screened multiple films, shorts and features that had won at Heartland, and were then instructed like break down the elements that connect all of these together as to why these were selected to get into Heartland and then to win Heartland, and then reverse engineer them and make something to get into this festival. And that's a class that's taught every year.
Well, it's not a bad idea if you want to get into a festival.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's very true, but it like very immediately is like, here's the rule book to how to get into Heartland. Specifically, like part of its name is all like it's emotional, uplifting stories. It's like,
yeah. Well, listen, I'll talk about Beasts of the Southern Wild for a minute, and I just call these people out. I'm sorry. I've said this on the podcast before, but it was early on when we had fewer listeners. I was in Youngblood with the writer of Beasts of the Southern Wild. Youngblood is a playwrights group for playwrights under 30 in New York City. So basically any playwright who's anybody goes through Youngblood at some point. And I was in that group, and this is a while ago because I was under 30 at the time, and now I'm 44, with the writer of Beasts of the Southern Wild, whose name is Lucy Alabar. She wrote that play, which at the time had a different title. She brought it into the group, and the characters were all white. And then she adapted it into a film, and got into Sundance at some point, but at some point the decision was made to make those characters black. Lucy Alabar is white. The filmmakers are white. Why do you think they made that decision to make these characters black? It's because they knew that it would appeal to the white people who give money to independent films, who program film festivals. But there is like this kind of identity grift at play and these like institutions. These are white people who cynically changed the race of the characters so that it would appeal to other white people. And that's not the case here because this is a Mexican filmmaker who's, telling her own story. But it just feels like everybody wants to celebrate a filmmaker like this because she's a woman and she's Mexican. And that's a good impulse. And I want to too. Unfortunately, this movie's not good. And so, do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm struggling with. And I feel like shitty for saying all of this. Like, I'm going to get into trouble or make people mad. And I don't want to, but I just genuinely don't think this movie is good. And I don't know. It makes me feel disgusting to talk about any of this stuff this way.
Well, I think Tigers Are Not Afraid is better than you do. Better than you think it is. I don't think it's frequently compared, at least in terms of like describing it to people, as like a cross between Devil's Backbone and City of God. And I don't think it's anywhere close to what those movies do separately. However, definitely the themes and elements of those two are very mixed up in this. And that kind of feels like an elevator pitch on like how to get a movie like this made, is to mention those two movies. I get it. I think there's elements of this movie that really, really work. I think the child actors are incredible. I think the overarching concept and conceit of this film of like depicting drug war related disappearances and deaths from the perspective of children directly affected by that is an interesting one.
Me too. I'm all for all of that.
I think it works 85-90% of the film. I think it doesn't work in the end. I think the final conclusion of it doesn't work. However, the main, and I think a lot of the establishing story beats are really muddled and not clear.
It doesn't make any sense at all. The script is bad, Drusilla. It's like, at all points I was like, huh? What? Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, I did keep screaming at my TV for these kids to just fucking turn that phone off so that they couldn't be tracked.
I know.
Constantly.
I know. And also videos can be texted or emailed. Do you know what I mean? Like, It just felt... And maybe some of the translation was bad. I did write this down because at some point, the little girl, Estrella, is shouting out one of the other kids, like something like, that's not true, or, but it translated it on Shudder as "'tis not true."
Yeah, I saw
Speaking
that.
of Shakespeare, I was like, what? Maybe this translation is really bad. So carving out a caveat for that possibility.
Well, I should also note that the title has even been changed in translation.
Oh, really?
Yes. The original Spanish title is Vuelven, which, please, I studied French, not Spanish. I'm so sorry. That's incorrect. But that directly translates to They Come Back, rather than Tigers Not Afraid. And that's both of those are sentiments that are expressed frequently throughout the film. And the original title definitely does connect more towards the supernatural element of the film that it ends with, whereas the English language new title is more about the children's experiences and the graffiti tag of one of the main kids, which all of that element I thought was great. All of the like animation I thought worked lovely.
I did not like any of that at all. I thought it was so corny and I thought it looked bad. It felt treacly and manipulative and sentimental to me, derogatory.
I didn't mind it. I will say they do vicious. One of the main characters does get killed almost midway through. That's like almost viciously mean.
Yeah.
It's like the most sensitive, the most vulnerable of the crew is the most beset upon throughout the film.
Yeah.
And you think is killed at one point and then is actually killed later. To a point that is maybe a little too cruel, but I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, is like the movie feels like it's trying to manipulate you at every moment. At one point, it's like through cutesy things, and then through another moment, it's by doing like really cruel things to try to make you sad. So I just felt like it was so manipulative in a way that felt cynical to me.
That's fair. I think part of the reason that those elements of the film didn't bump me as hard as they did you, I think, is because I'm watching this in the tail end of Emilia Perez.
Oh, God. I haven't seen that except for that viral clip. And I have to say, for weeks now since that clip, Joel and I have been walking around the house saying, like, I see, I see, I see. Or from woman to man, or man to woman. From
so
penis
bad.
to vagina. It's so unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That is also a film aimed
That is a film,
at a
you're right.
white neoliberal audience.
Yeah.
Even more so. That one's like painfully directed at a white neoliberal festival audience. It's directed by a white French man.
Right.
Who's been very open and blatantly cynical about both trans and Mexican experiences and his desire to make this movie. It's also very overtly and blatantly about the drug war in Mexico and about the violence of cartels. However, in that movie, the main character is a cartel boss who, in any other film, would be portrayed as the villain, or maybe even a serial killer who decides to give up on their life because they're closetedly trans. And then after their transition, they form a nonprofit under a different name, connecting families with the dead bodies of their loved ones that they killed.
Yeah.
That the family members have been looking for. And there's like multiple musical numbers from the family members, like praising Emilia Perez and like kissing her hand and thanking her. And like, that is so much more horribly like disgusting and insincere.
Yeah.
And vile. And honestly, Tigers Are Not Afraid was very refreshing to me in the aftermath of that. I mean, I'm like, this is fucking awful, and this is fucking heinous, and this is like deeply fucking traumatizing and like horrifying, and like destroys families permanently. It's not the kind of thing of like, oh, actually, the person who killed my child had their own issues they were going through, and now that they're trans, that slate is wiped clean because they're a different minority. Thank you so much for telling me where my son's body is.
There's a big conversation on all of this happening in the world of publishing, because maybe 2 years ago, there was a study of the publishing industry, and it turns out it is 80% upper middle class white women.
Yep.
Who run publishing in America, and all of them are on the progressive left. And so, of course, they want to publish books by queer people, by trans people, by people of color, so on and so forth, which is great. But because it's a homogenous group that is holding this power without realizing it, of course, they have blind spots. Of course, they have certain tastes. And so what happens is it forces writers who come from marginalized groups to perform their marginalization in a way to appeal to these white women to get their books published.
I mean, American Fiction was exactly that.
That's what American Fiction is about. So I'm just saying that it feels like this is the movie equivalent a little bit to me. Like, it feels like this is designed for like white neoliberal film festival curators to me. You know what I mean?
I mean, this movie's depiction of Mexico City is like outrageously bleak.
Yeah.
To the point of like, it's just roving gangs of, you know, orphans. And then like, also like, it's not really established if the...
It doesn't say Mexico City, as far as I know.
I guess it doesn't, but it is presented as a more metropolitan.
I assume it is, and she's from Mexico City. And listen, far be it from me to tell someone from Mexico City how to portray their city. So I don't know. But yes,
It
is
is
very
just,
bleak.
I mean, literally Emilia Perez is coming under fire for the way it's incorrectly portraying Mexico City as being like heinously violent and like insincere and stuff like that.
And
While
I
being filmed in
also,
France.
I always try not to use the term poverty porn because that's been leveled at me before as an artist, and I come from poverty, and I think most of the people who use the term poverty porn are really just upper middle class people who don't want to look at the poor. But this kind of borders on it for me. Like, I'm very tempted to use that term against this movie.
I mean, I didn't feel that watching this movie, and I'm very sensitive to that, and that's something that I deeply fucking hate and am very skeptical of whenever I see. That's part of the reason why I hate Beast of the Southern Wild, because like she's fucking rich.
Her dad's a lawyer.
Yeah,
I know her personally.
She went to NYU.
Her dad's a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her dad is the third. Like.
Yeah. Exactly.
The fact that she like crowdfunded her like airfare to go to festivals with Beast of the Southern Wild. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's poverty porn.
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak to whether or not this movie is or not. It appears to be beloved and really strongly accepted. I
mean, most of the reviews are like very high on Letterboxd, but my question is it that way because of like the politics of the thing rather than the actual movie?
Yeah.
I don't know. And that makes me feel shitty for even asking it like I'm Bill Maher or something. You know what I mean? And I don't mean to be.
Well, if you ask one more question like that, you're going to get an HBO special. So get your stand-up material together.
I hate feeling, I don't know. I'm going to edit the shit out of this because I don't want to get in trouble.
I mean, that's fair. I think if I found out that this was her first movie, I know it's not. It's like her fifth movie. No. I would be outrageously impressed by it. It's not, and like from the jump, the filmmaking and the camera work is not spectacular. It's
a lot of people don't like handheld camera, and you're one of them.
Oh, I really don't like handheld.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it when it has a purpose. Right. I like it in like a Safdie Brothers movie or something like that, where you're using it stylistically to convey an emotion. If you're just like two characters are having a conversation and the camera's just slightly tilting, what are we doing? Why are you doing that?
Mm-hmm.
That annoys me, and it's to me it's very early digital filmmaking, post mumblecore movement, indie filmmaking that drives me up the wall. Again, like finding out that this movie is from 2017, 2018. Also, I don't know. I feel like if it was made in 2008, 2012, and it was her first film, I would have a lot more interest in it. I will also say there are elements of the kind of fantasy and supernatural storytelling to it that really aren't clear, like the blood trail throughout it.
I was like, what is this?
That's
I don't
visually
understand.
interesting, but it's never spelled out. And also her mother's disappearance, which is incredibly important to the film, is not spelled out or displayed well at the beginning of the film either. It's just like 20 minutes in, you're like, oh, I think her mom's not there.
Yeah.
It's a very, very slow read. I think, a polished, like someone else coming in polishing the script, and maybe someone else coming in and directing it with a little bit more flair. Because again, like we mentioned, there's really great visuals in here that are clearly baked into the script.
Yeah.
But from a like filmmaking and execution point of view, I don't think they're as strong as they could be.
Yeah, I agree.
And again, the ghosts and supernatural elements of the film are questionable.
They feel secondary to me.
Yeah.
Almost like throwaways.
The child actors were very, very, very good, which is like not something I can really say about almost anything.
I agree, except I don't think the lead girl is very good. I think she's really outshined by the boys around her.
I thought she was good. I thought some of the boys were good, not all of them. And I thought the writing there's like 2 ancillary boys in the crew that don't have as much importance as the other 2 boys in the crew, but are just also there. I thought the writing of the 2 of them was the weakest in the film. They just got insufferable after a while, and they clearly just didn't have their own character. And at one point, they steal the MacGuffin from one of the other boys for no reason, and it's just like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I don't know, Drusilla. I don't have anything else to say about this. I feel terrible. Like I don't know. I don't like to come on here and be an asshole. I just don't think the movie is good, and I'm sorry if you're listening and you love this movie. And I don't know. I'm sorry if I offended anybody. I don't mean to be. I'm just like really struggling with my reaction to this movie.
Yeah. Again, like maybe it's not a good sign, but the entire time watching it, I could only think about other movies. I could only think about Emilia Perez or Pan's Labyrinth, The Devil's Backbone, or City of God, or honestly, Steven Soderbergh's Traffic quite a bit too. I was thinking about a lot of different movies and the way they executed similar ideas. I was also thinking about a lot of different ghost movies throughout it. Like La Llorona, and both the 30s version and the one from a few years ago that Shudder and Criterion put out. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a bummer to get on here and like not like a movie. But that's the risk you run when we pick a movie that neither of us have seen, I guess. And it's not fun for me.
Well, we'll be doing what we haven't seen next week. So we'll see.
I know.
I will say this is like a 3.5 star movie for me. I think it's like getting at interesting ideas. I think it's doing them in an interesting way that like is giving a different perspective on something. I don't think it fully sticks the landing of what it's going for. I think the end doesn't work at all. And especially like the overarching theme of the movie and what you're getting at in regards to the many peoples that have been disappeared during all of this. What happens at the end of this movie that's supposed to be like, cool, happy ending, we got him. I'm kind of like, why would you do that? Like, yes, you took care of the bad guy, but you took care of the bad guy in like the worst way possible. That like harms so many other families. That seemed like a very odd choice. I understand an attempt for like thematic conclusion with that of like vengeance, but it's also like you don't want to do that in that way. I don't know.
I mean, there are things I like about the movie, and I'm glad that you liked it more than I did, so that it's not totally a cynical episode. But I don't think I have anything else to say about this. Let's play our favorite game, Have They Seen It?, where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen this movie. Woo! This person came into my mind out of the clear blue sky. Do you think Billie Eilish saw this? I don't know why she came into my mind.
Billie Eilish?
I have neutral to positive feelings about her. I'm not a super fan, but she seems cool. I like the way she dresses. I like a couple of songs. She seems talented.
I'm neutral.
That's all I've got to say about her.
I'm neutral to negative.
Okay. Fair.
I like that first hit that she had, but I only like other people's covers of it.
The bad guy?
Yeah. I like the Interrupters version of that, but I think her ballads are not great. And her like queer rebranding feels cynical to me. And I hate the way she dresses. Always will.
There are like comps to her, like her contemporaries that I like a lot more than her, like Chapel Rowan. I like a lot more. I like Olivia Rodrigo a lot more. So there's like other Gen Z girlies that I prefer to Billie Eilish, who I feel very positively toward. But yeah.
Also, her Bond song was terrible. I'm going to say she hasn't seen this. She doesn't strike me as the kind of person to have a Shudder subscription.
No, but I think that she's seen some like Guillermo Del Toro movies probably, but
Yeah, I think
that's
she's
about
seen
it.
some Guillermo del Toro tweets about this movie, and that's the
Yeah.
furthest extent of her relationship with it.
Yeah.
Do you think the director of Emilia Perez, Jacques Audiard, has seen Tigers Are Not Afraid?
I think yes.
Okay.
Is he Mexican or he's French?
He's
you said?
French. He's a white man from
Why?
France.
Why make a movie about Mexico as a Frenchman? I don't understand.
He has cited a novel, a French novel, again, written by a white Frenchman, that was like a series of short stories
Hmm.
as like the inspiration. And I think it also has like a writing credit on Emilia Perez. That's just like a quippy, edgelordy little story that's like a few pages long about a Mexican drug cartel head who, in an attempt to escape the government and the feds, to flee the country, undergoes a sex change so they can't be found out. And Jacques Audiard was like, that's an interesting idea. I want to like really dig into that and stretch that out. And
Is it
awful.
An interesting idea? I don't think that's an interesting idea, actually. And I'm not somebody who believes that you have to be something to write about it, but I wouldn't write about France unless it was about an American traveling through France. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It stinks to me. But yes, I do think he's seen this because, I don't know, he's just a filmmaker, so I'm inclined, I hope that he watches as many movies as he can.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm sure he saw this at a film festival around the time it came out, and I'm sure like his intentions for how to like film Mexico were very much rooted in like this and traffic, and then was like, cool, great, got it.
Yeah.
He's also gone on the record multiple times saying that like he couldn't accurately get his depiction of Mexico by going to Mexico. He had to film it in Paris because he wouldn't have been able to shoot his version of Mexico in Mexico. It's like, what's wrong with you?
I'm going to name another pop singer. And this is also a person who is an actor. And I know that this is a person, it is verified, who loves horror movies. This person is bafflingly Caucasian, to my great surprise. I'm talking about Ariana Grande. Do you think that Ariana Grande has seen Tigers Are Not Afraid?
Ariana Grande is in fact Caucasian.
Isn't that crazy? She's Italian, I guess.
Yeah. And she's from Florida. Yeah.
Fucking Florida.
Fucking Florida, man.
She loves horror movies. She's gone on record.
She does. She probably has a Shudder subscription, or she has someone on her team that has a Shudder subscription, I'm sure. I don't know if she would have seen this though. I feel like her being like, I love horror movies is more like, I watch Scream 3 all the time. It seems more like that brand.
Like PR.
Well, yes, PR, but also just generally like, I think she watches Saw. I don't think she watches like an art house. Also, like, this movie's like barely a horror movie. It's like,
right. It's really not.
Yeah.
Barely. Yeah.
This has as much horror in it as Brady Corbett's The Brutalist has sewage /AI in it. And that's accurate. I think that's an accurate like level of comparison.
Totally. I thought that you meant she liked horror in that way that girls sometimes are like, I'm a weird girl. I just like love football and hot dogs and like being with boys. I mean?
I'm like so gay. I like kiss all my friends at parties. My boyfriend loves it. No, weird. I don't mean that. Weird. I don't mean that. I mean like in the way that basic. A lot of people, if they talk about like, oh my god, I love horror movies, they probably saw Pearl and Maxine. They definitely have seen all of the new Scream movies. They're definitely caught up on like go to see those new David Gordon Green Halloween movies. Like first thing at the theater, we'll probably see Wolfman, but are not going to be watching The Keep. Are not going to be watching you know, Tigers Are Not Afraid. Are not going to be watching a lot of the weird shit we dig up for this show.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a possibility, but I think, there's a lot of people out there that are horror fans with Shudder subscriptions that are turned off by subtitles or simply foreign countries.
In fairness, you and I didn't watch this until this week, and it came out in 2017, so we don't have much room to talk because we hadn't seen it a week ago.
That's fair. However, I was watching other foreign language films at the time.
Yeah. And I saw so many tweets about this from people that I love when it came out who just loved it. And so I truly am like riddled with anxiety about this episode coming out.
That's the other reason why I don't watch stuff like that. That's also like when I first heard about Emilia Perez, it was nothing but praise. Being really? Like, can you believe, oh my god, this new like trans film with this big trans actress, and it's like getting all this awards buzz. I immediately am kind of like, I don't know if I want to watch that. I'm worried if I don't like it, what's going to happen.
Right.
So and there's been a couple other like big trans films in the past few years. That one about cathode ray tubes and neon lights, whatever that title was. Hated that. And that's something that like so many people really, really loved, and I couldn't. And so I avoided seeing it for a long time because I was worried I wouldn't like it. And then, oh no, I didn't like it.
And then you didn't.
And so this was another one where like so many people were very loudly in support of it that I was kind of like, I hope I like it. I don't know if I will or not. And so like I was I think with that dread, I was pleasantly surprised at how much I did actually like it. But I was also so emotionally raw going into it that I was just kind of like overwhelmed.
Yeah. It's your turn.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, one of the best depictions of Mexican magic realism in film, people always talk about Del Toro. Going further back from Del Toro, you go into like Mexican literature, and one of my favorite examples is the novel Pedro Páramo. I fucking love that novel, and it was recently turned into a film. I'm very excited to see. It's on Netflix. Directed by Rodrigo Prieto, the cinematographer. It's his first time in the director's chair. Do you think Rodrigo Prieto has seen Tigers Are Not Afraid?
He's Mexican? Mm-hmm. Yes, I think so.
He shot Barbie, and he shot and Amores Perros and Killers of the Flower Moon and 21 Grams, Irishman.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, somebody like that has got to see everything, right? And I would guess yes. What do you think?
I feel like he would have too, and I feel like I think there's a world in which he liked it quite a bit. I wish he could have worked on it. I wish he could have lensed it or something like that.
I mean, it needed somebody else. Somebody else's eye would have been good, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel so shitty to get on here and shit on something that people love. So let's call it. Thank you for listening to this episode of Bloodhaus. Please don't roast us. I love you all, and I thank you for not coming after me. You can email us at bloodhausepod@gmail.com. Drusilla, where can people find you?
You can find me over on Letterboxd. If you look for Drusilla Adeline or Sister Hyde, I'm on there, and I've been watching a lot of Sam Peckinpah movies while I've been depressed. I don't look into that.
Why?
I think I'm just horny for James Coburn. But you can also find me at Sister Hyde on Instagram, and you can find me and my work over at sisterhydedesign.com, where I've got a new piece up, which is the new Criterion cover for Sean Baker's 2008 feature Prince of Broadway.
Congratulations, by the way. Thank you.
That was very, 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 very exciting to get to obviously work with Eric over at Criterion yet again on an awesome project, but also to get to work with someone as big as Sean Baker is very exciting, and to like do original photography for it with my partner Ivory Woods really like blew me away, and then for it to be announced alongside Sean's new movie Anora with new art by my friend Mark. Just like beautiful timing, and couldn't have been better. Yeah, what about you, Josh? How can people hunt you down?
They're going to, I fear. Letterboxd, Blue Sky, and Instagram at Joshua Conkel. Next week, we're watching a movie, again, that neither of us have seen before. Please, gay Jesus, let us like this movie. Please, please, please. What is the movie?
We will be watching a movie that I think, Josh, you're going to like, because it ticks a lot of your boxes. It is from a established European art house director making a film in English. It is B from 1978.
Okay, great.
So I think you're excited once again. And it is C, starring two legends of British cinema, John Hurt and Tim Curry.
Phew.
I think you might like this one. So directed by Jerzy Skolimowski, the director of Deep End and EO, we will be taking a trip out to The Shout.
The Shout. Thank you, everyone. See you next week. Bye.